Greetings, folks. Latherus Smythe back again with yet one more peek into, well, I guess this is another tip, trick, and hack, piggybacking on my tip from last week on how to lather CK6. It was such a successful video, I thought, well, why not do another? So, again, piggybacking. How so? Well, this is how so. I thought I would demonstrate how to get even more mileage out of your soap by using what I call the Latherus Method. This is poor Latherus. Loaded up with dead lather. See this? What I didn't do was rinse out my brush yesterday or last night, whenever I shaved last. I just left it soapy and sitting inside the knot. And I recommend you do this. However, if you're going to do this, what I don't recommend is you use an animal fur brush. This works really well with synthetic brushes. And while it can work with the other brushes, it may be detrimental to the hair, so don't go there if you don't need to. However, if you have a million of them and you don't mind possibly hurting one, I don't know if you will or won't. Again, it really depends. But scent, I can guarantee it won't, at least with my brushes, because I've been doing this for a long time. So yeah, well, you saw last week that you can get so much soap out of just a few swirls off the top of a puck. You can also get even more the next day from the same soap that only took a few swirls to get, if that makes any sense. So what we need to do here, what we're pretty much going to do, is just rehydrate what's going on inside this brush. Now, you see, not much soap, but probably more soap than what you remember me lathering the other day. I have a brush of a mug, in fact, of hot water here. I'm going to put a little inside here, just a teensy bit. And typically, how I would do this is I would have, the faucet running, and I would dip the brush, the tips of the brush under the faucet just to get it a little bit hydrated on the tips. But I don't have that luxury today due to this video, but there is there is a mug of hot water here that I will dip in just slightly, and that's it. And same old technique, figure 8 motions. You can already see that working. This is an old trick. I've been talking about this in forums and groups for years, the Latherus. But again, I don't see people often talking about it. This is like one of those other things, it's like blooming. I'll talk about stuff that becomes a sensation that really isn't all that big of a deal, and it blows up for the wrong reasons. Well, hopefully this will have a little more positive impact. This is, again, rehydrating your previous lather. As you can see, I keep soaking it in more water. And this is CK6, folks. And this is the new Scuttle as well, the Spacescape. Also, it's by its own right, a lather machine. But you can see even the knot has bloomed. And I mean blooming in a knot sense, not in the fragrance sense. That's right, folks. As if wet shaving wasn't already confusing enough. We use blooming a couple different ways. But look at that. Now what I'm going to do is actually, again, I would typically have running water. I don't, so I'm just going to pour that over. And you can see that's a tablespoon of water. Look at that. That's the Latherus Method. Do another tablespoon of water in there. And again, for about a decade, I've been screaming from, no, you know what? Scooping has only been popular for probably about 5 years. People didn't really talk about that. And the only reason why it really became popular, at least from where I'm standing, is because people started really getting into reselling stuff. So in order to resell stuff fast and keep people safe, I guess, especially during COVID, it took off. It was a great way to keep yourselves sanitary and clean before you resold them. But I also think it's a very wasteful approach if you're not ever going to sell it. I mean, if you're going to sell it, you have that in mind. But if you love the scent and you're never going to sell it, there's no reason to scoop it when you can just get a couple swirls, five swirls off the top of a puck, and you're good to go. But look at this. I didn't even have to use more soap today. I just rehydrated the brush from yesterday. So that's the Latherus method, folks. Maybe I'll do a couple more videos on my lather thoughts, but there you go. I mean, look at this. That ain't lacking. Shave on!